Well, good morning.
Well, good morning.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Psh,
Clink.
clink. As I always say, you gotta love coffee in the morning. Hey.
I knew that was coming.
Yep, that's gonna be
Um,
my morning catchphrase.
Yeah.
Anyway, hello, emoticon trash. E.T.
Well, hello, Cam. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's 10:55 in the morning, and I'm still sleepy.
Yeah, I'm a little bit.
Yeah,
But isn't
I'll be
it
all right.
crazy? Isn't it crazy how if you do things like last second, it's like you kind of get a burst of energy, like you had
Mhm.
caffeine and I don't know why, but for those watching, we texted, we were like, yeah, we're getting ready and whatnot, and
Yeah,
um I was still kind of honestly scrolling on my phone on social
yeah,
media, and then I'm
yeah,
like, I need to get a shower right now.
yeah. All right. Yeah, I
Yeah,
woke up I woke up when we were supposed to start recording. I was like, "Hey, I just woke up." And you're like, "Me too." And I was like, "Great."
yeah.
um,
So, but now we're here.
now we're here. What kind of coffee are you drinking? What flavor? What brand?
So I think the coffee is called stock or something. It's like ST.
Oh, yeah, with the weird dots on it.
Yeah, okay, or
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Um uh it's like straight black.
Yeah.
Um and then I put like a caramel oat milk
Oh,
in it.
fancy.
So I've kind of liked well, it's weird. It's like I'm not really lactose intolerant, but
Hmm.
usually just like regular creamers and such, it kind of upsets my stomach a little bit.
Yeah. They can be pretty sugary too,
That too, yeah.
depending on
So
what brand you get and all that. They can be just like 90. I mean, they are pretty much 99.9% sugar anyway.
yeah. Um
No.
but I started not too long ago, probably last year or year before, I started
Hmm.
getting into um oat creamer and things like that. It's good.
Yeah.
Um what about you?
I am drinking what's the brand name? Crazy Cups. They mostly make K cups, but they have like whole beans and stuff. Um I gotta get them at a major box retailer store called Walmart. Um this flavor is strawberry shortcake because I can't drink straight black coffee. I tried and I'm not man enough apparently.
Hmm.
But strawberry shortcake. I mean, it smells really good. And yeah, I just kind of just found this company on a whim, and I was like, oh, they have interesting names for all of their coffees. Like Death by Chocolate is one of them, and it's like a really 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 thick flavored like dark chocolate, and it tastes amazing. And so does this.
Yeah. I
So
think
if they
I
want to sponsor us, I
yeah.
won't say no. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But
Anyway,
anywho,
what we talking
um
about today? What you got?
electric vehicles.
Oh yay!
The the future of it. And what I was gonna say too, um, which uh we were kind of talking about earlier before we recorded, but honestly, this topic I think actually was kind of the um inspiration to
Yeah,
start this podcast actually. Um
right.
just the way that we were I think me and you were just kind of talking about it.
Hmm.
And then next thing you know, I think it was like an hour and a half later, we're just like just
We're going through like
going after it. Yeah.
yeah, going like 9 different topics, all
Yeah.
technology. Yeah, I mean
But
it's a fascinating world, man. They keep coming up with
yeah.
just you're like, I didn't even think about that. You're like, oh, that's a thing now, and it tries to get incorporated into our day to day lives. This is something that I saw recently. A little off topic from electric cars was they're starting to release more and more information about the Neuralink, the patient. I got the Neuralink
Oh,
implant.
yeah, yeah.
So that'll be a topic for another day as more stuff comes out. But that stuff's like I never even thought of that being a thing. And they've had ideas for implemented brain chips like that probably for decades, but just to actually see it come to fruition, it's like I didn't think that would happen in my lifetime, to be honest with you, at least not to the extent that it is. I do love seeing the memes about the ads. If you get the free plan, the base Neuralink plan, you get 30-second ads in your head. Can you imagine you're sleeping and you just get an ad for like Kleenex or something?
Oh gosh.
I'm not even gonna imagine what that's like. That would be hilarious.
Just
Oh.
I don't know why I just pictured just your parents just telling you or giving you a lecture and they're like, you need to clean your room. You're just raid Shadow Legends.
Right? Or if you got like Spotify or
Oh
whatever, like you
gosh.
don't have Spotify Premium. Just real quick, imagine like if they restricted certain body parts because you don't have the subscription. Like you can use your left hand, but not your right hand because you got to subscribe to Right Hand Plus.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Anyway, back to electric cars.
um, so actually I want to get your opinion on this about
Yeah.
electric cars is I've didn't really think about it, but
Hmm.
um so let's just pretend that um every single human being has, electric car and
Hmm.
whatnot, and
It's the norm
just
now. Yeah.
yeah, it's just a norm. So yeah, let's just pretend everybody has one. But
Hmm.
I heard this theory that kind of blew my mind. I didn't really think about was, um, you know, what would specifically happen if, like, let's say later in the future we have some other kind of, related COVID-19 or something,
Yeah. Another
and
pandemic or something.
yeah, or pandemic, and um, for some reason, like, you know, whoever in charge would be able to control most certain vehicles. So it's like,
Hmm.
okay, well, here's restricted. You can't go
Right.
into the city or
So
whatever.
they could
Yeah.
like turn off your car due to like a nationwide ban or something.
Yeah.
Or
But
like like I didn't
it'll
even
be
think about
something
that.
where it would be like, yeah, it would just be like,
It's
okay,
fascinating.
I should be able to, like, I don't know, go to
Z-
Walmart
Right.
a mile down the road and your car is like locked or
Yeah.
whatever. You can't. And that just blew my mind. And I'm like,
I didn't
that's
even think
just
about that.
that's just stupid,
Yeah.
and
I didn't
what
even
kind
think,
of
I didn't even think
world controlled world we would be living in. But
Yeah.
I just want to get like your opinion on that.
I never even thought of that as an option. But I mean, I think if you're looking at government agencies, they would most likely be the ones obviously doing that. And they would have to tell these car manufacturers, hey, lock down the cars, whatever. And I'd like to think that in the United States here that there's policies in place that would prevent that from happening. Like, no, the users are going to drive whether you like it or not. But I don't know. I honestly don't know on a large scale. I don't know, um, I don't want to go too conspiracy theorists because I'm not crazy, but I don't think that would ever actually happen. But I would not be surprised one bit if that started to happen, right? Because the car manufacturers, we know they have the ability to shut down cars because they've done it, and we know that the cars have shut down because of errors, like the brakes stopped working. That was a big thing a few years ago with Teslas. Some of their cars, the brakes just stopped working.
Jeez.
Yeah, and here's another thing about electric vehicles is you're essentially driving a computer, right?
Yeah.
Every aspect of your car is now the whole car is a computer now. There's nothing driving that car but a computer. Well, computers have to update, and guess what? You can't use when something's updating your vehicle. Um, so now I know they try to push updates, like updates that would prevent you from being able to drive your car. I know they tend to try to push those at like really uh like low times, like 1 o'clock in the morning, or something that majority of people wouldn't be driving. But there's the more and more people get electric vehicles, the more and more that when you're going to have to find that window that's going to affect less and less people. You're never going to not affect somebody, because people have jobs all around the globe 24/7. People are always working. So if someone is forced to get an electric vehicle and they work night shift, and that company specifically does updates at night for, I don't know how long they take. Sometimes they take like 10, 20, 30 minutes. Well, guess what? You're 10, 20, 30 minutes late to work. Or if it's like while you're driving to work and you're stuck on the highway, you know. I don't think that's ever happened. I could be wrong. I don't know. I haven't really found any articles like that. But just the ability to shut down your own vehicle, right? Not even an update, just like what you were talking about. That is a scary thought. Uh, and it may happen. I think it would take a lot for all of these car manufacturers to kind of have to do that. Um, but again, I don't think that it would be impossible, and I think it's very plausible that it could happen. It really depends on several factors, but I think it would take a very, I would hope anyway, a very very specific instance where that would have to be implemented, like nuclear fallout type thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Like I said, I like to think that there's policies in place, or there will be policies in place that basically states that the government can't just be like, okay, I'm turning off your car now, because then no one would get electric vehicles. So
What wasn't there an article? Maybe it was like not too long ago. I think we kind of talked about was that possibly electric vehicles can like get hacked or
oh,
whatever.
yeah. If it's a computer, it can get hacked. That's like it's happened, and it'll keep happening. That's another issue.
It,
And then what's worse is if, for example, let's say that by 2032, which is the current uh, law, I guess, that all like 56% of all vehicle sales have to be electric vehicles. I don't know if that will ever happen, right? But let's just say, in general, the more and more people buy into electric vehicles, the more and more computers you have the chance of hacking. Different companies, different brands, what have you. You're always going to find vulnerabilities. And some people are malicious like that. It's like, oh, I want to hack this person's Tesla and steal it, or make it crash, or who knows. So that's an issue that I feel like needs a lot more attention and a lot more seriousness attached to it. I mean, I know it's already a very serious thing that companies are having to deal with, but like the problem with technology is it's almost always going to be hackable, right? Nothing is truly non-hackable unless it's just straight up not connected to the internet. Even then, you could probably find a way to hack into something. And that's what's scary. But I don't know. That's kind of one of the risks of electric vehicles is it's a computer. It obeys just like it does what a computer does. And there's a saying, I don't remember who says it, but I say it all the time. Everything's a computer. Everything is a computer. Xboxes are computers. All gaming consoles now are computers. Everything is a computer, right? Everything's attached to the internet. And if it's attached to the internet, it's susceptible to hacking. That's just gonna happen. So, if you have it to where everyone in the United States has a electric vehicle, well, you have kind of the world's largest hacking ground for electric vehicles. Now,
Yeah.
in all honesty, you specifically getting your car hacked, as random citizen number 4,302. I mean, it's unlikely that during your lifetime of that vehicle that you'll get hacked, unless there's a way to mass hack that brand. If there's a way to hack into every single Tesla or every single model of a Tesla, that is most likely how a hack would happen rather than just your vehicle specifically. There's a lot of things that would have to be in place in order for a random citizen to get kind of feel that, you know. So you're more susceptible to getting hacked if you have some status, political, celebrity, whatever. People are doing that all the time. But it's still a scary
Yeah.
thought, especially if someone's able to hack into a specific brand or a specific model and affect every model of that brand. That's scary, especially if you're driving 75 down the highway and there goes your brakes.
Mm.
It's scary thoughts, and that's one of that's a few of the hesitations that I think people have or should have about electric vehicles as a technology is, yeah, they're efficient. You're not spending gas. So you're quote unquote somewhat saving the environment a little bit, not really, but a little bit. But like you're driving a computer, and all computers are susceptible to hacking.
I definitely wanted to touch on that too because I feel like um I feel like people these days um don't really think too much about Teslas, and
Hmm.
kind of like the first conversation I think we had about Teslas and we were talking about it was just them saying, well, we're just trying to make electric cars, the new thing and better for the environment thing. And what
Yeah,
you brought up and I didn't even think about was just like, okay, you do realize for the battery stuff that,
yeah, and you got to get the raw materials from somewhere.
you got to get it somewhere. So
You got
it's
to
like,
mine. You got to mine for it, which is destroying the environment.
it's, yeah. And you got that. And then, um, the other thing is, for, most people, I guess, who listen that haven't really thought about it is they're still having like overheating and batteries igniting and
Oh
whatnot.
yeah, I remember when we had the conversation about electric vehicles, specifically Teslas, because they are like the biggest manufacturer. But it technically applies to all manufacturers of electric vehicles. Have you seen what they look like when they catch on fire?
Yeah,
They
it's like even if you
it's
have like a parking lot full of Teslas, it's like,
mhm.
oh buddy, it's like a whole box of matches.
Oh yeah, if one goes. Well, the
And
thing is,
yeah,
they if you puncture the battery, if you puncture a battery, right, it really doesn't matter. If you puncture a battery, it's gonna catch on fire and start just spewing out fire like a flamethrower. Lithium ion batteries, especially the ones that are in electric vehicles, if you puncture those in any way, that's a flamethrower, and your car is just going to be constantly on fire for several hours. And the problem that I've seen, and they may have better methods of putting them out now than when the last time I did research. But I was watching a video on YouTube where they were talking about fire fire stations, especially smaller fire stations, when they have an electric vehicle catch on fire, they kind of just have to throw it in the lake because it's just going to burn for hours and hours and hours. They can't really put out the flame because it's just a constantly the batteries providing the energy to keep the flame going, and a lot of times they have to just throw it in the lake and let it just die out. Or some fire stations have to have like a little laminated sheet that tells them if where there's a puncture where they should put their water to kind of die it down. Now, from what I understand, the whole purpose or the whole method of the firefighters and the Teslas or electric vehicles in general when they catch on fire isn't to put out the fire. It's just to keep it from stop spreading as it just burns out, right?
Yeah.
It's like holding a lighter and like trying to spit on it, right? I mean that you got fuel that's lighting that fire, and that's just going to keep igniting until that fuel goes out. Um, Especially with the batteries, they're so that heat is or the flame is just so hot that the water is just there to make sure it doesn't spread anywhere else. It's just they're just gonna let that car just catch on fire until it burns out. Um,
Yeah.
and they may have chemicals that they can spray on them now. I don't know. That was a few years ago that I heard about that. But I mean, back then, that I literally in that video I saw they were like, yeah, we just have to push it into a lake because
Yeah.
we don't our water is not gonna pull this out.
I remember me and you watching a video um, of Hummer coming out with an
Oh yeah,
electric,
they've got their EV, the
and
monster of an EV.
I think we were watching it, and my literal first thought was that thing has twice as more batteries. And I'm like,
Hmm.
what's that
Thing's
going to look
huge,
like? What's that going to look like for a fire? It's like,
right?
you know, it exactly, and it's just like, and that's the thing that
You got to push
it's
that one into
just,
the ocean.
yeah, basically. And that was my first thought. And it was just like, I mean, yeah, this is a huge coming of age of technology
Hmm.
that is crazy. And then, you see Teslas everywhere. And then especially where um we live, it's kind of like, we're well, not as much. I don't really see,
Hmm.
but the development of having even like more charging stations now,
Hmm.
and things like that. I'm starting to see them a lot. And
I see them in the most random places that I would not expect. Like and you may know this, and I won't get too descriptive, but there's a bank, right?
hmm,
It's a very local bank. It's not a nationwide branch. There's a local bank, uh, kind of closer to where you live, in between where you live and where I live. Um, that has it's a local like mom and pop shop. I mean, it's like got two locations in the world, and they're both in our state, like two cities apart. And it had a like four or five of their parking spots got converted into Tesla charging stations. I'm like, this is a town of like 30,000 people, five of whom probably are the only ones that own Teslas in this town. So you're benefiting the five people in this town that have Teslas. I think it's actually more than that because I have seen quite a few. But it's like,
yeah,
We're gonna put them in McDonald's now. I mean, like, what's next?
Yeah. I've seen uh, charging station in kind of like in a weird spot in a Target parking lot.
Hmm.
And
I'm
yeah,
honestly not surprised. Target is like they're like middle upper class shopping.
oh yeah, honestly, yeah.
So
You see a
they're a little
bunch
bit
of
more bougie than
yeah.
other places. They're trying to be, and that's just how they're becoming. They're becoming like a bougier place. Not that they don't have bad stuff. They do have really good stuff there.
They have good stuff.
They have a
Yeah,
Starbucks.
that's that's kind of the thing you see like when you see people walking out is
They go in and go out with their Starbucks.
you see the 4 or 5 like moms dressed in Sunday
Mhm.
best with the cafe latte and macchiato,
Right.
and you're
Oh
like,
yeah.
"That's
And
Target."
you can look at the little ticket on their drink, and it's got like 500 ingredients. It's like, oh my gosh, that's more sugar than it is coffee. I don't even know if there's coffee in there at that point. The coffee probably diluted, diluted to the point where there's no coffee.
Coffee just evaporated at that point.
Right.
You never may know. Who knows in the future? Like
Right.
we might have like a um, quick trip, but it's
Just all electric
Tesla.
vehicles.
Tesla, yeah, like I say gas station, but like electric station or something.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's one thing I didn't even think about is, they have electric charging stations, like they're like individual stalls, but I don't know if anyone's really done like a full on like convenience store type charging station. At least not like fully. Because another thing about charging vehicles, even if you have like the supercharger uh subscription or literally whatever it is, it takes longer to charge your vehicle than it does to fill up your vehicle if you got gas. From like if you're like you got like a mile left, and you plug that thing in, it takes like I don't know how long, but it's like 30-40 minutes, if not longer, to a full charge. Whereas getting gas takes about 6 minutes.
yeah,
So now I don't think many people, if their electric vehicle is like almost dead, I don't know if they charge it to the full extent, because again, you have to be there for a while. Thing with batteries is you can't just like power charge them. You can't just like whoop, because that strains the battery and that reduces the lifespan of the battery. If you quick charge it, if you force that electricity through it too quickly, over time that'll fry the battery.
well,
So,
I don't remember exactly what brand, but I remember hearing something about there are some companies that are trying to do that, and
mhm,
it's crazy. They're trying to make the charging
like super quick.
faster
Yeah.
and yeah, whatnot. And I remember hearing Elon Musk talking about, you know, I think he was kind of more focusing on. He was like, yeah, I mean, with having things charge faster and whatnot, it was like, yeah,
Mhm.
we're still kind of just fidgeting with it. But
Right.
I think for him, he's trying to outgo the I guess the goal of having the Tesla car go even further. So
Right.
like going on a full charge, maybe from like, somewhere in like California and then going all the way till like, Tennessee or something,
Yeah.
that long of a stretch to go until you get all the way over there and then you have to charge,
Right.
which I mean, that's incredible and whatnot, but still, it's just
It's
like,
a bigger and bigger battery though.
yeah, you're gonna have to put more stuff in it.
Mhm.
And
Another thing, not to cut you off, but another thing about batteries is, they only last so long. no matter how slowly or efficiently they charge, they're gonna have to be replaced, right? They're gonna stop working because that's just technology. You know how expensive it is to replace a battery in an electric vehicle? Two things. One, you got to find a service station that'll do it. You can't just go to your mom and pop, mechanic shop and get it
Mm,
done. You got to be licensed to do it. It's expensive. You have to have the equipment to do that, and so, and two, the batteries themselves are like minimum like 5 to 10 grand to replace. So now I don't know how often you're supposed to replace them. I think they last like 10 plus years or so, but still, my current vehicle's 20 something years old and it runs just fine. I don't gotta change
yeah,
the. You do gotta change the battery in that, but that's about $100 at O'Reilly's compared to $5,000 at a dealership.
yeah.
So
It's yeah, it's just something I see with seeing more and more Teslas and then
yeah,
whatnot. It's just like, you know, those things are expensive. And then yeah, even to have um not even just the battery, something else could break down or whatever. And it's just like, well, you better have enough saved to fix
right.
it.
Yeah, it's expensive to buy and it's even more expensive to fix. And with electric vehicles, you really can't do any maintenance on yourself by yourself.
It's like you teaching a beginner how
Hmm.
to like take apart a actual computer down,
Right.
like
Mm.
PC and whatnot,
Right.
and to like put it all back together.
Yeah. Like, okay,
For
like what?
yeah, they're not gonna know. I mean, they're just gonna be like, well, okay, yeah, I have the money for it, so I'm just gonna, spend it for them to, oh, make it safer for the environment and whatnot. And it's just like, not everybody's gonna have a Tesla.
Hmm.
There's gonna be probably millions of people that are gonna fight to the death to
Hmm.
have their gas powered cars.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'd rather I'd rather learn to take apart a car engine and whatnot and all that than to be paranoid with what might happen to it. And it's just like,
Right.
and if I'm
Because
broke, no more Tesla.
you know what's gonna happen with my truck? If I decide to take my truck for a drive at 2 o'clock in the morning, you know what it's not gonna be doing? Doing an update that's gonna prevent it from driving. I turn key and I go.
Driving on your way to work and seeing a Tesla on fire, you're just like, well, sucks for them.
Right. So,
So
so,
it's
but
ridiculous.
yeah, I did read something though that might bring hope to the whole battery situation, and that's their guess they're doing some research on sodium ion batteries
Oh
as
yeah,
opposed
yeah.
to lithium ion batteries. Apparently, sodium ion batteries are mostly made out of table salt, table salt, and wood, and probably other things as well. But according to this article, it's basically non-destructive stuff that we don't have to like mine for. Um, the only issue they're having with them right now, and the reason why they're not just mass replacing lithium ion batteries, is that they can't hold as much of a charge. Uh, like that, they're not as powerful as lithium ions. You would to get the same output, the sodium ion battery would have to be significantly bigger. Based off of this, some of the articles I've read, if they're able to implement it into larger vehicles like the Teslas and everything, um, maybe that would be a good replacement for that, and we won't have to worry as much as on the lithium stuff. I know that with this, they've done some testing with some smaller sized vehicles, and so far so good.
Mm.
But with bigger vehicles, or I guess normal sized vehicles, The batteries would have to be basically too large to equivalent to what the lithium ions can already do. But it'll be interesting to see as the years go on how that technology advances.
You know, I just realized we might have to like see if we can find an update later on another episode. But
Yeah.
I remember Elon wanting to work on electric semi trucks.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's a whole nother topic. Yeah, he's got those up already. They're already out and about.
Oh my
Oh yeah,
gosh!
they're. I know Frito-Lay, the chip company. I know they're using them. I don't know if the other big places like Walmart or Amazon are using them. I'd imagine Amazon will just develop their own because that just makes sense. But I know Frito-Lay because
Oh yeah,
I saw a video on YouTube. Frito-Lay is officially using them, uh, or testing them in certain select states. I think
I
they look weird.
yeah, I haven't looked too much into it, but I remember seeing an article about
hmm
Amazon into electric vans.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
that's through Rivian though. That's the Rivian fans,
Oh, yeah,
which
still, but
yeah, still
yeah,
electric van. Yeah.
still electric.
Um, and Rivian, that's not even that's a topic I didn't even think about. But the Rivian company, they've got their trucks. I think they mostly do like pickup trucks and vans, but they're still using lithium ion batteries for their vehicle as everyone is. But I don't think those ones are too bad. They look a little bit more realistic compared to the Tesla truck.
Yeah.
This the cyber excuse me, the Cybertruck. Uh that looks cool if it was the year 3007, but it's not. So,
Yeah. A little ahead of its
well,
time. So,
yeah, it's a little too modern art piece.
yeah.
But hey, you got money, you do what you got to do. You do you,
Yeah.
as they say. You design whatever you want. But I think in general, electric vehicles, they're not going anywhere. They're, as with pretty much all technology, it's only going to advance. Whether that's a good advancement or a bad advancement, it's only going to get more advanced. Um, so who knows? By the year 2032, electric vehicles may be using a battery technology that's not evasive to the environment. Um, Maybe, and another thing too, that besides electric vehicles, I know this whole episode's about electric vehicles, but there are certain name brands I can't think of right now that are starting to introduce hydrogen uh,
Mm.
powered vehicles. Like there's like one brand out right now that's got like a hydrogen powered vehicle. Um, so I think for the future, I think exploring other technologies as of right now, besides electric, like hydrogen and stuff, I think those have better chances of being more close to actual environmental friendly compared to electric vehicles right now. But
Yeah.
I do believe at some point electric vehicles could actually get to an environmental friendly with their battery technology, especially if they're able to find alternative batteries besides lithium ion that are able to they're able to replace with.
Yeah.
So maybe one day I'll get an electric vehicle, but not anytime soon. Not no way, no
I
how, no ma'am.
I think yeah, for me and you, we can both agree it's like it'll probably take us a long time until maybe at some point we'll probably be like, oh, okay, well, we might buy one, or something. But
If they come down in price,
oh yeah.
they're
So,
expensive.
but to me personally, I think it would take a lot of convincing, and I would kind of have like a checklist of like, can it do this? Have you guys fixed this? Has this had
Right.
any issues? You know, if they're,
Right.
well, it's still in development, I'm like, nope,
Nope.
nope, I'm done.
No, I'm not taking. So I don't mind beta testing. I do like beta testing games. I like joining beta tests for video games. I'm not gonna do it for a car. No, 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 no. Because I'm gonna do 75 down the highway, and all of a sudden my brakes don't work.
Yeah,
So if
I
you're
would.
still in development, I'm not gonna be a part of it.
Yeah, I would have a lot of questions for that. So here's my whole checklist. So,
Right.
but
And then real quick, one of the things that we haven't even talked about with the electric vehicles is the driverless driving. Whatever they call it. I completely forgot the name of it.
oh,
The hands off
the
driving.
taxis.
Well, taxis
Well,
and
yeah,
just in
that's what. Yeah.
general, just the vehicles being able to drive themselves. That's another whole episode, honestly. But yeah, I don't want my car to just go into that mode without me knowing. I think that is one of the bigger um, issues that I have until that becomes more like solidified as a system. No, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna just have my car randomly start driving itself into a brick wall.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll have to we'll probably have to do like an update or something on that,
Oh, absolutely. A few episodes
and
from now, we'll
so
probably have updates. Technology is always improving.
it's always improving. But
It's always
um
advancing. That's the proper word. It's always advancing, not improving.
yeah.
Yeah, improvement is the
There's
positive thing. The
there's
advancements are always not positive.
there's probably some tech developers out there that probably don't like that word. Advancing.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's honestly what it is. You know, it's not everything they do is a positive impact. So they're always pushing out articles about it. So
Yeah. But alrighty. So I think that's it. But so just wanted to say our little motto, but
yes,
for
sir.
everyone out there listening, just
It's your
drink
turn.
yeah, drink coffee in moderation and don't believe everything you hear on the internet. Have a good one.
Have a good day.
Peace.
Peace.